What's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
A beautiful Monday in the city of Lagos, where we're broadcasting from. This is VOP This Morning. Bright and early, right here with you to ensure that you get the latest in the world of politics, entertainment, sports, everything that you need to have a fun-filled day. That's why we're here. I'm Moses Humphrey, but of course, as usual, not alone. Never walk alone, all right? I do have a few of my colleagues with me in the studio.
Fina Okechukwu is my name. Good morning.
Yes,
Good morning to you,
Good
Fina.
morning to you, Moses, and yes, morning to you, Fina.
Good morning,
My name
David.
is David Edwin, and this beautiful morning, I'm so excited to be here this morning. I don't know. I'm so excited.
You are. I guess it's probably because it's close to the end of the month.
The salary month.
Usually that will be it. Oh well. You know how certain social media platforms would ask you, "What's on your mind?" What's on your mind this morning?
It's just to have a beautiful day, and well, to surely give every single person the best of breakfast, literally, information as
Okay.
well. You
How
know?
about you, Fina?
A nice one.
What's on your mind?
I guess the only thing on my mind this morning is how to be better and what I can contribute to society for me to actually achieve that.
Okay. Well, what's on my mind this morning is kind of different, because I read of this story over the weekend about a footballer
Yeah.
who had a 13-year career but never played the football for one day.
You know, sometimes.
Have you heard the story of this
That
man?
happened?
Interesting question. His name is Carlos Henrique Raposo, popularly known as Carlos Kaiser.
Kaiser.
Yeah.
He wanted to live the life of the superstar footballer, go to the club, have the women, have the money. So he schemed. He's a con man. He's a Brazilian con man. He found a way to, have a rapport with club owners, scouts, players, and this enabled him to get signed. And then he had newspapers, right? He made friends with newspapers, editors.
Yeah.
Have them write stories about how great he was, how much of a superstar player he was.
Playing for which
Let's
team,
even have
which
his
club?
picture up. Let's have his picture up. Let's have his picture up. How much of a great player he was. But then for each time he was he was on the bench most of the time.
Yeah.
No.
But whenever they try to, get him on the pitch, he will develop an injury. Either he develops an injury during training. In fact, one time, he did this for 13 years. And he moved from club to club. There's a list of the clubs that he played for. I don't know if we can have that up. He played for a lot of clubs, actually. Well, not played, but he was on the bench of a lot of clubs. Yes. Now, one
Warming
time,
their bench.
yes, one time a club owner said, "Look, I have to have this guy play. I mean, I've heard so much about how great of a player he is.
Yeah.
We are losing out in the game, and we don't have anything to lose anymore. So let him just go in there and play." And then that was when he was about to be caught. So he got on the sidelines. When they told him to warm up, he was, trying to warm up and everything, and he was just scheming. There's a movie about him, actually. He was just scheming. Yes, that's the man. We'll have a list of the clubs that he played for.
Fantastic player.
Fantastic young player.
For 13 years.
For 13 years. Now, while he was warming up, he said he overheard some fans insulting one of his co-players, and then he picked a fight. So he got a red card.
What a way to run.
Before
He got a
entering
red
the pitch.
card, even before getting into the pitch. Now, that's a list of the years he played for. No, don't zoom in. Zoom out, please. Zoom out. Zoom out of that one. Yes, so see, from 1979, no appearance whatsoever.
Oh my God.
1979, 1979 to 1981, he played for Botafogo. 1981 to 1983, he played for Flamingos. That's a popular club side in Brazil. But he never appeared on the pitch for any of these
And he never
clubs.
scored a goal, and yet he's a
never
fantastic player. Okay, and then he's still a fantastic player.
This just brings to mind some let me use the word loosely now, some Maradona in the world. How they scheme, how they tell people they are they are one thing, they claim to be one thing, meanwhile they are not who they say they are, and the whole world, the papers carry it, and the whole world go, oh yes, this man's a great person. But really, when you now sit down to ask yourself, what great thing has he done truly? What great thing has this individual done? And then you start to wonder, really, I can't even think of anything in particular. But I was told he's a great person, so I believe he's a great person. Yeah. And I expect him to be a great person.
And the media also take the person to be a great person.
So that goes to also tell you the power of the media.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
You
probably would. I guess our viewers should look for that movie, watch it, and understand the life of this man, Carlos Henrique Raposo. That's his name. Oh well, let's get into the talking point for today. All right, David.
Oh yeah, Tinubu should be in a Guinness World Record for causing Nigeria more hardship. This is coming from the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi.
And we'll also be looking at the exit of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger from ECOWAS. All right. So these are the stories that we'll delve into this morning on the show.
Yeah, but before we get into the discussion, we encourage you to click on the subscribe button and subscribe to our page. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV, and on other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. First off, we'll be heading into what the front pages of the dailies are talking about today. But before that, we want to make you understand that we have Mr. Akin Fatunke, a public affairs commentator, and Mr. John Akerele, who is also a journalist and a public affairs commentator, to join us in dissecting the matter of interest this morning. Okay, and that is it. Let's move straight into the papers.
All right. Well, I guess John Akerele will join much later. But right now, let's welcome Mr. Akin Fatunke. Good morning to you, sir. Hope you had a lovely weekend.
I had a lovely weekend.
You haven't seen the movie of Carlos Henrique Raposa, have you?
Before we go to Carlos, it was good.
That?
It was bad. It was ugly for me over the weekend.
Over the weekend?
Yes. Good in the sense that Nigeria trashed Cameroon. Like rivals, and it may be a flash in the pan, but trashed them with it. I think it was bad. Part of what you read out, the alliance of Sahel states moving out, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. It was bad. What was ugly was not so much about me, but what I see in the environment. When you ask the question, which way Nigeria, sorry, what was on my mind is which way Nigeria.
Which way Nigeria.
Which way to go. So, Carlos, Maradoning himself, Nigeria has been Maradoning for close to 60 years. We actually have a Maradona, you know. We have somebody called Babangida. Babangida Maradona. And then we had some other stars that's come into the space. Did little, sometimes did nothing, sometimes even some kicked the ball against against their side and did an own goal. Thank you very much for having me, Fina. Thank you very much, Moses and David. Good morning, Nigerians.
Good morning once again. So let's dive into it quickly. I'll be starting off with the Punch newspaper. Yes, and also you should know that we have Tosin Ejalunibu on the streets of Lagos. He'll be sampling the opinion of Nigerians as it concerns stories from the headlines this morning. But first, let's start off with the headlines from the Punch newspaper. From the Punch newspaper, the banner headline here: kidnapping epidemic, tracking device shortage hindering police probes. Sources, and then that has the rider: death of tracking devices. That's death of tracking devices causes delay in investigation. Arrest of abductors, says investigators. Okay. On top of the nameplate, we have Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, yet to exit formally, according to ECOWAS. FG, well, we'll talk about that one when we get into that point. FG appoints 6 governors to minimum wage panel. IRS demands Achimogu's tax returns after lavish birthday. Interesting times. Okay, and then we have. See, that's the power of social media. NDLEA declares beauty queen wanted. NABS Brazil returnee. 40 trillion naira LG allocations diverted by governors. This is according to Sarah. Osun Prince detained after US-based professor's murder. Naira manufacturers plan general price hike. Now I ask myself, where do we go, Nigeria? Which way, Nigeria? Manufacturers plan general price hike. Like it's not bad enough as it is. Oh well, these are the headlines from the Punch newspaper. Mr. Fatuke.
Which way goes Nigeria?
Which way, Nigeria?
We are supposed to be taking us middle belt. When I say middle belt, that does not take away northwest, northeast, north central, southwest, southeast.
It's a form of structural adjustment now. Here we go.
We need to tighten our belts within the mid-region, which, in my honest opinion, still says that the state of anomy is not yet over. Our manufacturers naturally want to pass costs of production, which is gone off the roof, to be able to maintain the same quality onto the final consumers. What does that tell you? We get more impoverished, 1, 2, and then we get quacks and fakes coming into the space. 3, we also get the big time manufacturers and service providers voting with their legs. For you and I, the first impact will see that our unemployment goes up. We just had a spate of very good news from our universities, people with GPA ranging into the skies, summa cum laude. What becomes of them? Are they going to come into the unemployment market just like that? So we've breeded talents, and those talents will naturally jackman, leaving us sprawling on the floor and doing our hypes. Carlos will now be a good man that will now say, yes, Nigeria is doing well. I don't think we are doing well. We are striving, and there are policies and measures that have been put, but we are not seeing the benefits yet. The most unfortunate aspect is that those who are drivers, those who are in the cockpits, those who are supposed to be the captain of the ships are not showing the kind of example that will make us feel comfortable that they won't take us a further inch. The manufacturers are doing all what they are doing, despite the fact that there are interventions on paper for SMEs. I also know that there are plans to try and give relative tax holidays, take away multiplication of levies and taxes to harmonize them. But that will only come after the harvest. We're still in the planting season. We still don't have enough rains. We don't have enough irrigation. And so it becomes a bit of a topsy-turvy. Should we have hope? Yes, we should have hope. But those hope must be very realistic, must be very measurable, and we want to begin to see scorecards right from the top. If we don't see those scorecards right from the top, I guess we find ourselves marching on the same spot. When you march on the same spot, what happens? You either dig the ground further, and if it's a marsh ground, you get swallowed.
Now excuse me. Let's look at what are your thoughts really on FG appointing 6 governors to the minimum wage panel? This is after a long time. The initial agreement from October was that, I mean, when the deal was signed was it September or October? A month after, they were supposed to constitute the panel. Here we are. The government is constituting a panel in what I would call February, because I mean, January is almost gone already. Now that is on one side. You might want to react to that one. There's this story also that was in the social media space all through last week, that of a 50-year-old Achimogu. What's her first name? I'm trying to remember her first name. I can't remember her first name.
Aisha Achimogu.
Aisha Achimogu. Thank you very much. It was in the media space as she celebrated her 50th birthday in Grenada, and that was lavishly done. A lot of money was spent on that one, and Governor Sanwo-Olu was fingered as being a sponsor of her lavish lifestyle. Do you think? Now we have it that IRS is demanding her tax returns. Do you think the governor might be asked to answer some questions in that regard?
Oh, Moses, nice one. The only thing that you didn't join is the fact that, yes, she's 50 years old. She had a lavish birthday. That to
in Abuja and Grenada.
That to me not only looks funny. I don't know if a movie has been made yet of people that should be in a sanatorium, or people routed from a sanatorium. They want to go out of the sanatorium. Yaba left. I want to continue to dance naked on the streets. What I thought you missed, and which I think is also significant, is that Aisha Achimogu is a widow. I say that because the husband was the very first victim of COVID in 2020, and you begin to wonder, if you lost your husband in 2020 and you have 3 children, there's absolutely no sense of shame and decency, knowing fully well from where you are coming from, and you found yourself in the cockpit of after scheming and being favored above others in society. I should not forget to also state the obvious, that she's a woman and she's young. All of these indices got muddied by what she went to do out there. Is she the first to do something similar to that?
Definitely not.
But did she do it in a way and she was aided and abetted by the elites? Yes. We all want a good life. We want to go enjoy without necessarily producing. Nigeria is not producing. Nigeria is not making the impact. And then we like the aspect of show off. On the aspect of the alleged, looking more real now, that a governor of Lagos State was there. I think it's most unfortunate. Alleged, I still say. Very unfortunate. Moses, I keep on saying in all my talks that one thing seems to be missing. The essence of what you call ethics. It's a study in management. You've got to know that ethically there are certain things you don't do. They may be expedient for you to do. You may be there that you can do it.
You may have the wherewithal.
Ethics says think twice, because you must have that emotional intelligence to see people around you, to also know that you are in competition. You competed to be there and you are made first amongst equals. Naturally, people who lost along you will have an eagle eye to continue to monitor you. And if you now then choose whether you use your money, or you use this money, or you use your wife's money, or you stole the money elsewhere, or for 419, to now then begin to leave this ostentation, it leaves a lot to be desired. I say, Morality and ethics is a subject that all are public servants, and there is none of them that will say they haven't heard about you. We must sit ourselves in classrooms. We must do case studies. We must try and learn. We must try to relearn, and we must try to unlearn good things. And not say to ourselves that because you have power or you are holding the gun, and
You
that
can do whatever you like.
This kind of thing will not go away, unfortunately, and it has an effect of not only affecting you, affecting members of your families, and then blighting your name in the annals of history that is unfolding. I think it's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate.
I do not know.
Absolutely
I do
agree
not
with
know how we'll be able to wriggle out of this, and it cuts across.
Yeah, I guess we'll sweep it on. We'll sweep it under the rug. You know, usual pattern. Let's get into another daily now.
Okay, this one is from Vanguard newspaper. I'll have to take it from top to bottom, and I will have a writer that says the FG inaugurates minimum wage committee tomorrow, and the story says corrupt governors responsible for insecurity banditry in the north, and this is coming from Vice President Shetima. A writer says under that particular story says Afenifera expresses worry over upsurge in kidnapping in Southwest and others. Okay, we have the lead story, which is also the banner headline, saying Burkina Faso and Mali, Niger pulls out of ECOWAS. And we have a writer that says we are ready for negotiated solution, ECOWAS Commission. Another writer says Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger on suspension from ECOWAS presidency. And another writer says it is a serious diplomatic meltdown. Article. We have a pictorial, and this one is about Dangote and the distributors. We have some people there. We have a former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, and we have Aliko Dangote himself, and so many other persons. Even Otodola also happened to be a part of that picture. And on the right-hand side of that picture, we have if Tinubu misses this opportunity, Nigeria is gone. And this is coming from Pa Adibanjo. Beneath the pictorial, we have a story that says Forex crisis, high import duty, the press vehicle order imports. The writer that says dealers lament poor sales. And another writer says Blake 2024 predicted as Naira sink deeper. And another writer says situation could get worse. And this one is from Muda Yusuf. And the last but not the least of the story says CAF picks Oseni for random drug test. And someone want to ask, why now? Why would they wake up and pick Oseni for random drug test?
Well, in defense to CAF, this happens in every tournament.
The king of African
They just
football.
pick anybody. And the reason why they do that is when they see how very physical you are in the game, they just pick you.
I hope they understand that Shima actually made Napoli, or rather, he actually put Napoli well.
With, doping.
Anyway, let me because we actually know that as it is now, Shima actually is the king when it gets to African football, and that's a good one. Okay, to you, Mr. Akin.
I hope eating
Fatike.
fufu before the match is not the problem, because he just might have been eating fufu before the match. Don't mind me, I'm just joking. Go ahead.
You know, reading this, the stories, Vanguard, I watched your facial expression. You know, it got to a point where nodding and all that. I know you have a particular story here that, you know, caught your attention, please.
But even before you say that, I would rather also you patch on the statement from the Vice President talking about insecurity, and of course, pegging it to be the responsibility of the governors in the north. He was also a governor.
Yes.
How would you react to that?
I'll react by saying that we are just not ready to face and carry our monkeys. And the monkey that we have created is the fact that we are in a vehicle that will take us somewhere. I do not think this to and fro should be the governor's responsibility, should be the federal government's responsibility, based on the 1999 Constitution as amended, that we are tinkering and fumbling with, to take security much more seriously than the way we are going about it. Our Rome is burning, Nero should not continue to fiddle with the pipe. So my reaction is this ping pong. Yes, of course, the governors. Yes, of course, the local government chieftains. Yes, of course, the local government chieftains. All these stakeholders have roles to play, but they will only be able to play those roles if, okay, maybe in a manner of speaking, they have a good template to work with. If we still are toying with issues surrounding state police, if you are still talking about the residual, things that we think that the local government should be handling, but which the states and the state governors are sitting on, are not allowing governance to dovetail to the grassroots. We ain't doing nothing. And if we are not really prepared as a government to know financiers of terror, okay, we say we don't know, okay, so you don't know. People have given you names of financiers of terror. And for 8 years, still going, you are not doing anything about it, either because those financiers of terror are also financing you. It doesn't speak well. For Shetima, who is coming out, being a governor, also knows the fact that there were quite a number of corners that were made by way of governance, and is now saying, hey, well, I'm Paul. I haven't got into Damascus, but I've seen the light. I think we need to begin to change things. Fina, you said I was nodding, but I was nodding in the negative. Six governors to be part of which I just see us as a JoJo, talk, and not working the act. I also see, please pardon me for being so pessimistic, that all what we just want to do is to be seen, to be talking, to be taking an action, and when the substance is not there, like Moses hinted earlier, why are we constituting that now? I thought we had a committee that was raised and was set up to look at the issue of minimum wage, but the truth must be told. The money that ought to have been earmarked, whether you call it to the humanitarian affairs or palliatives, or set aside to help take care of the sufferings of Nigerians, albeit temporarily, hasn't reached where it should get into. So let's just be seen to be doing something and be marching on. And if you continue that, I think we are being very, very unserious in governance. Hopefully, I'll be proven wrong, but you are going to have a committee to begin to look at things when the funds are there, and they are going to get to the wider and the larger people in the environment.
Do you think this government is putting a callous raposo on us, on Nigerians? Using social media, using the papers, talking about how wonderful its policies are, but then Nigerians are suffering.
Moses, to the extent that I am not able to measure whatever it is that you've been able to tell us for 7 months, to the extent that for the last 8 years you have mounted and told us we are going to do certain things, and what I see in the public space is things that are complete opposite. I would say Carlos now becomes a strategy to deceive the poor, to make them poorer, and ask them to go to churches and mosques and keep on saying Hosanna and Hallelujah and be saying Rankadede, when you know that in actual fact you are deceiving them. I also feel, and why I was a bit reluctant, Moses, is that within the pack, fear should be fair. So a pack of 100 people, maybe 5, maybe 6, too little, not adequate to make direct impactful on what we are looking at. So we need to change our mindset. We need to be very frank to ourselves. We need to be able to now begin to lead by example. And one of those examples will be for Mr. President, just as an example, to come out and raise his hand and agree that we haven't done it too right with our personal lifestyle, achievable style, and we begin to take a decision to cut our coats, not only according to our cloth. The one we cut, we give it out to the poor and the needy, meaningfully so, and begin to have policies that help us to tame population, tame exchange rate, tame inflation, tame unemployment. We are not sitting pretty as we speak, and you cannot be the leader and feel comfortable that things are the way they are. Yes, we can have hope, but let's begin to see those hopes being demonstrated by you, by your immediate family,
we've been told
and
that,
by
that the
your
president's
governors, using your power of persuasion.
We've been told that the president has sleepless nights. They're thinking about the sufferings of Nigerians. Let's see that, let's see something come out of those sleepless nights.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. I think. Do we have time to go into another daily? I don't think so. All right then. So let's take what's coming up next. What's coming up next?
Up next is we have a story. Up next on VOP this morning is Tinubu should be in Guinness World Records for causing Nigerians most hardship, and this is coming from Peter Obi. That's the presidential candidate for Labour Party in just 2023 concluded election in Nigeria. Okay, we'll actually get more, or we'll have to get the details of that particular story after this break.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigerians. And I think it's also proper for me to say good morning to my colleagues in the studio. I'm here live in the streets of Lagos, and I'm here to get reactions of people for what interests them in the news. What is that news headline? What is that news item that interests them in the news this morning? The major headline dominating the newspaper this morning is Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso pulling out of ECOWAS. There's a couple of other things also in the news. We have the FG saying that the Indian $14 billion investment pledge already yielding fruit. These are some of the things in the news this morning. But let's hear from you, Nigerians. What do you think about this? What do you think about some of these news headlines? What's your opinion on this? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, thank you.
What's your name and where you?
My name is Oliver. I'm from Benue State. I'm also at Ikeja here in Lagos here.
Okay, so Mr. Oliver,
Yeah.
what's interesting in the news this morning?
Well, as for me, the issue of Burkina Faso, Niger, and some other country pulling out of ECOWAS, well, it's interesting because it's just like we will not sit up to our things anymore as an ECOWAS. So pull out is right. It's right to teach other people how serious the country and the unity as an ECOWAS is supposed to be. As for me, it's interesting.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You can hear from Mr. Oliver what he thinks about what interests him in the news this morning. It's the ECOWAS issue. For Voice of the People TV reporting live here in Lagos, Oluwatosin Ejalonibu, back to the studio.